that there's pain, which is unpleasant physiological responses, and then there is suffering, which is the mental exaggeration of
Well,
those responses.
whatever. Now, why again? That is not the dictionary definition of suffering. So the definition of suffering has the words pain right in it. There's no separate pain is separate from the word suffering. No, it's a component of suffering. Pain can be suffering. Pain can be caused by a physical damage, or it can be caused by some sort of emotional syndrome. But those are both sufferings.
Well, pain can cause suffering, but suffering does. Sorry, suffer, pain can cause suffering, but suffering doesn't necessarily have to entail pain.
Yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily, but the point is suffering is the blanket term. It covers all the unpleasant sensations. All unpleasant sensations above, let's say, I don't know, what do we really have to play this stupid game? Like you cut your fingernail too deep into the skin. Okay, that'll be the line. So when you have that horrible little, ooh, ow, 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 because you cut too into the skin when you cut your fingernail or something. Ingrown toenail. I don't know. What does it matter? There's a difference between deprivation, like I'm hungry, and I'm starving. That's the difference. Okay? Starving is suffering. I'm hungry isn't really suffering.
Well, I don't have a personal qualm on the subject. I was just interested in the degrees to which different sufferings, I guess, would exist.
But why does that stupid degree crap make any difference? What does it have to do with the fucking reality, which is that people will spend 7 years in a nursing home dying horribly, unpleasantly, in a great deal of pain and suffering. So why do I have to sit there and have this moronic conversation about where we draw some stupid line for this stupid word? I mean, it isn't necessary. The argument is that there's a big giant pile of suffering in the world. Giant. It's giant, okay? Do we really have to figure out exactly how big it is? I'm arguing, what the fuck are you going to put on the other side of the scale? A bunch of orgasms. I got my commencement or something. What the your confirmation at the church? Oh, I got confirmed at the church, and it gave me a little jolly. I mean, what the fuck? What accomplishment, what happiness, what perfection are you going to put on the other side of the scale to compensate for all the fucking suffering? And in my opinion, there ain't a damn thing you can put on the other side of the scale except a bunch of heroin testimony. As a heroin addict, I can tell you heroin kicks ass. That's all you got. I'm addicted to this life thing. I'm sure it's great. Retard.
Speaking of trying to redefine words, Professor Anton brings
Professor Anton, what? It stopped. What do you think about evolution? Just don't PM me, asshole. Especially with dumbass fucking questions. Questions you could type into the text. Jeez.
I was just saying that he brought up the word, divine and sacred, and we need these things, but he didn't define what these things are that we need, and moreover, he didn't define why it is we need these things, and I just thought it was such a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, he left some comment in my video. After the whole video, he leaves some stupid thing like, well, how many years have animals been sentient? Or some other kind of question. You're like, well, who the fuck cares? Oh, it's a 500 million, 700 million, or a billion. Oh, yeah, it makes a difference somehow? I don't think it does. Who cares?
Yeah, the allure of his philosophy depends on its ambiguity. Like, as long as he doesn't define the terms, then they sound really nice. But as soon as he tries to put it into practice, it doesn't make any sense because it becomes another shitty, mediocre aspect of life.
Yeah, and it's just he redefines every word in the English language. I mean, none of the words he's using them in a context have anything to do with their fucking actual meaning. So what's the hell? How can you be a fucking professor of communication when you have no respect for words and definitions. I mean, it's impossible.
Like his use of the word gift. He says that it doesn't.
Oh, that would be funny. Corey Feldman killed Gary Coleman. That would be funny.
Well, I would like to stick up for Professor Anton. Sorry, I would like to stick up for Professor Anton and defend his position on a practical level. I think what he's saying is that because we have become sentient, we have started living in abstractions, and he views, I think, a lot of the atheists and the materialistic views as hypothesizations. They're confusing concrete reality for abstract reality. But because as human beings we live largely in an abstractionist manner, we have to start relating in an abstractionist manner. We just can't get rid of it and do away with it, and all of a sudden that's that. I mean, we have entered into a different realm of reality where we have to start relating to the abstract in more abstract ways, so to speak, and hence his...
yeah, well, that's just bullshit right there. Abstract has nothing to do with this. Okay, there's no abstract reality. Okay, abstract is a perversion of reality. Abstract is not reality. So right there, you're in big trouble. Just more of this crap. Like today, he's using the stupid word sacred. You can't take that word out of its real context, which is always 97.5% of the time people will connect the word sacred with a deity. So he makes a whole video saying, I don't believe in deities, I don't believe in rules, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that, and then he'll use the word sacred. What's the fucking point? I mean, it's just self-contradictory nonsense. Just turns everything he's saying into fucking gobbledygook. It means nothing.
But because we can imagine it means something, ironically, because we are pantomiming apes or whatever he says, it does become real at a certain level.
I mean, what, a real fantasy? I'm sorry. Again, the argument is what's the true definition of our circumstance? What is our reality? Where are we in how are we manufactured, and how do we function? That's the issue to be decided. He wants to play some kind of you know, don't worry, be happy psychological game with people. Fine, then call it what it is. Call it Psychology 101, but don't call it philosophy. He's not helping anyone define reality. He's confusing reality. Turn your mic off.
Shit, sorry.
Oh, okay, here, girl. You must be a 4-year-old. Too bad.
Hello?
Parting is such sweet sorrow. No, goodbye. What? What do you want? Hello?
What is this Professor Anton who's saying, oh, he's so abstract, he's so ambiguous, we can't understand him. I mean, what is the difference between science and philosophy? I mean, science is something that's very exact. Philosophy is something it's not exact. It's very.
But the point is, it's supposed to be. It would be exact if we had the information. You don't think if 5,000 years ago, if they knew what we know about microbes and all this other stuff, that their philosophy wouldn't be part of science? Of course it would be. Philosophy only got perverted because people had so little information to build philosophy out of. How do you define what the meaning of life is, which philosophy attempts to do, when you have a context of no information? So obviously we have information now, so now philosophy has to come to a higher standard. It has to survive scientific style rigor. You gotta turn your mic off when you're done talking.
I agree. It does have to. There's a higher standard involving philosophy, and it has stepped up to that standard. And Professor Anton has stepped up to that. I don't see how exactly.
Sacred.